What is mental stack? Well, simply put, a mental stack is, I could have sworn maybe my dog. I honestly, oh, here we go, a link. Wait, a link?
Marjorie! The wheels on the bus go!
Oh, hey, you're back. Listen, this is a lot. I think it would really do us some good to take a more interdisciplinary approach and really expand our mind, you know?
Hey, I'm really taking over shit right now, bitch. I'm in fucking Korea with over 200,000 won.
Okay, I thought I could do this on my own, but it looks like we'll have to enlist the FTC to help us on this one. Sorry guys. I guess the big brain approach isn't all that it's cracked up to be, but I'm sure we can cook something up if we smash all our heads together.
He knows he put himself here. Oh, I do not want to be here either.
Oh, the full crouch stuff. Oh,
yeah, dude, it's rough.
that
You're getting
move is nasty.
Dude, dude, the mental stack right now, nuts.
It's nuts. There's too much.
The issue isn't the ability to react, it's his ability to prioritize what's important. Basically, we can all keep roughly the same amount of things in focus at any given time. We call this the mental stack. You know when commentators say watching the air and watching the ground at the same time is very tough. It's very hard to react to a dash and anti-air jump at the same time. There's only so many things your brain can look for and try to identify at once. Focusing on whiff punishing something on the ground, super heavy. You probably won't be able to anti-air jump, right? It's mental stack.
You see guys, that's exactly what I was trying to say this whole time. Okay, now that that's all cleared up, let's really get into the definition of mental stack. Here we go. Number of things, usually possible decisions in the mind of a player at any given moment. But before we get too deep into it, it's important to mention that mental stack is better seen as a model to understand what's going on in your opponent's mind, rather than an explanation of what is really going on in your opponent's mind. Don't want to take too much time, but basically, when you treat it as fact, you'll become infuriated when things don't work out. If you treat it as a rough guideline, you'll see it as another tool to win, nothing more and nothing less. For you ultra nerds out there, basically, the problem that I'm getting at is the difference between scientific realism versus empiricism. If that means nothing to you, honestly, don't worry about it. What you should be worried about is getting good at Tekken, and that's exactly what we're here to do. But first, can we just take a sec to appreciate the vibe I got going on here? Now that we've done our research, we can push forward to see how it all ties together. Just a quick side note, it seems to me that a mental stack is more like a stack of stacks, but we're going to break it down into individual categories in order to make it more understandable. You can think of it however you'd like, but we want to stick to a model which will make it the easiest to apply the knowledge that we actually do gain. I'll give an in-game example of an offensive mental stack, and then we'll zoom out and generalize how a mental stack might look for any given player. I'm sure you may already be doing this in your head. First we have down forward 3. Next we have down forward 3, 1 plus 2. And lastly we have down forward 3, 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2. Every time I've wanted to simplify Tekken to someone, I've shown them this string. It's an easy way to understand the kind of mini-games Tekken has to offer without breaking the brain. Gigas' offensive stack consists of the string, so similarly, that gives us a corresponding defensive stack. So, let's build out our defensive stack and see what kind of game is being played here. So here we have both players' completed mental stack in regards to the down forward 3 string. Not too bad, and gives us a basic template to understand how offensive and defensive moves influence each other. And finally, we can use the ideas we just touched upon to see an example of a more general mental stack. Remember, there could be infinitely many categories of mental stack, and even repeats. It is just a model. But being able to organize and quantify information is vastly important in a game like Tekken, and all fighting games. The concept of mental stack is not so complicated and quite intuitive, but it really brings out the juicy questions as well. How do we utilize mental stack, and how do we defend against characters who abuse mental stack? So, how do we actually utilize mental stack? It's like that kid in math class who would always say, "How am I gonna use this?" Well, here's how. If your opponent is aware of multiple options, this shows that they're willing to play Tekken. You can take advantage of this by throwing in other moves that might catch them off guard. Here's an example. We can use the mental frames that we created with our mental stack and buffer a command throw. We can also do something similar if we up and finish the string, they run up to take their turn, and we hit them with a buffered command throw for optimal mental damage. We want to use the fact that we've increased their mental stack as an opportunity to switch our timing, or do something random. So, how do we defend against characters who abuse mental stack? Just punish. Thanks for coming out, guys. Oh, but you're smart. You checked how long is left in the video, didn't you? Well, I guess I'm in good company. Really though, it's about developing a good game plan that maximizes the reward and minimizes the risk. After that, it helps to make sure that your opponent is playing the same game as you, but if you have a decent plan, it will be constructed to win out in the long run regardless. We'll get an idea of how to do this using Raven's up forward 3+4 or Chakram if you're one of those nuts who knows every move name in the game. You know who you are. If you're not familiar with Raven, don't worry, we'll run through them quick just so we're all on the same page. First up, we have up forward 3+4, 4, 2. Next we have up forward 3+4, forward 4, 2. Up forward 3+4, forward 4, 3. Up forward 3+4, forward 4, up. And up forward 3+4, 3+4. Or spinning chakram. So, this is Raven's offensive stack for her chakram string. Blech, I know. But, we're looking to develop a game plan that puts us ahead and hopefully minimizes our stack in the process. Luckily for you, I did all your labbing homework for you, so you owe me one. Forward 3+4 raw is a launch for us. Raven can finish the string, which will counter hit launch us if we try to launch the first hit. But if we're patient, we can get an I-13 punish on the last hit. This patience might help us if Raven decides to get tricky and pull out the delayed low version. But since we're patient and smart, we know that we can low parry the second hit and then low parry again to cover the forward 4 version, and then neutral block to cover our ass from the Death from Above option. This will cover the fake out haze option as well. The only option Raven can do from here is the immediate mid option, which Raven gets so little out of. But if we guess correctly and block the mid, we'll get a full launch. How's that for a game plan? Here's some footage of me showing how this all works. Make sure to take it into the lab to get it into your muscle memory. What? You thought you wouldn't get any homework? So, by doing the education, we can take this down to just this. Still gotta guess though. She needs it. In general, characters who abuse mental stack often have glaring flaws, or their moves are so highly specific that they're always risking something by using them. Think of Ravens up forward 3+4. We want to develop a low risk and high reward game plan that hopefully shortens instead of lengthens our mental stack. If at some point in the match you feel that the minigame isn't worth it, it definitely may be a good idea to abstain from it altogether. And finally, you have to make sure you and your opponent are playing the same game. If they're on autopilot, there's no need to think 4 steps ahead. And actually, if we think about it, characters or moves that are heavy on the mental stack pretty much must be highly punishable. Remember, a heavy defensive stack simply means many defensive options or interactions. And so if a character has a heavy mental stack, gets high reward, but is not risking much, that is generally unbalanced and poor game design. If you'd like to prove it to yourself, think of a move that you believe to be overpowered, and then make those relative stacks. Do this with enough moves, and you'll understand exactly what I'm getting at. Of course, there are caveats and exceptions, and if you can think of any, throw them down below. So keep that in mind when making conclusions about characters and their relative strengths. I worked extremely hard on this video, so if you enjoyed it, please make it known through a comment or a like. And if you think I'm a full-blown idiot, well, make that known as well. As for me, I'm off to go build some pyramids, so I'll catch you guys at the top. Later.